has said that this is likely to happen, and he said it yesterday. However, that doesn't mean we're completely over the worst yet. Oh, but what about XRP? It's just going along with the rest of the market, of course. A few well-known chart watchers, on the other hand, are talking about the idea that XRP prices will go very high this market cycle. In fact, we're talking more than $50. Now, I've said many times on the show that I don't think it's crazy that XRP could hit triple digits and be worth more than $100 at some point in the future without a set date. I don't think that will happen. But the idea isn't crazy. There is more than enough money in the world to bid up the price of XRP that high given the right amount of time. That's not at all crazy. It's not even close to likely that we'll reach that level this cycle, let alone $50 this cycle. I'm being honest with you. I want to see it. Don't get me wrong. XRP is my biggest holding as a person. I'm being honest with you. It's not even close to likely in my opinion. However, it's interesting to think about, and I agree that it's not impossible. As we all know, crazy amounts of money have flowed into crypto in the past. What if Bitcoin then goes way higher than what almost everyone is expecting this market cycle? Let's say it actually goes to 250,000 or 350,000 Bitcoin. If that actually happens. That being said, I don't think it's unlikely that XRP will reach those higher price levels this market cycle. In fact, I think it's likely that XRP will be in the $50 plus range at that point. XRP should go up with Bitcoin, or at least get close to it if Bitcoin gets that high. If Bitcoin does go up that high, yeah. I'll explain why a few chart analysts are talking about this, and basically just crunching some numbers to get a sense of what it might look like. Because to be honest, Bitcoin is the market leader, Ethereum is the leader among altcoins, and XRP has a history of competing with Ethereum. So what happens with Ethereum does matter for XRP because it shows how much money is in the space. I want to be clear before I go any further. There is no money history of any kind for me. I'm not giving you financial advice, and you should never buy or sell something because of what I say, right? Actually, I'm just an amateur who likes making YouTube movies about crypto as a hobby and for fun. It is 5:06 p.m. when I take this video. I live in Central Time, which is the time zone. The 3rd of September 2025 is today. It cost $2.84 to buy XRP. We felt a little better when XRP went up to as high as $2.88 earlier today. The same thing happened with Bitcoin. Right now it's around $112,000. The all-time high was $112,482 hours ago. A 24-hour low of $110,647. You'll see a bit later in the movie that a well-known chart analyst says, "Yeah, you're probably going to get this." That's what the cards told him. You should go to his YouTube account if you want to be more specific. Like I do, you should just follow him on X. He really does know a lot. He's one of the best chart analysts out there, but even he admits that there's a chance that the bottom's in. But more on that in a moment. For now, let's have some fun with some XRP price action. Again, if Bitcoin goes crazy, it's not crazy to think that XRP could hit $50 this market cycle. But if Bitcoin is going to peak around $140,000 to $160,000, I don't think it's likely that XRP will get this high. But even I, who tends to be more pessimistic about XRP prices, will admit that it's not impossible. I'll check that ground out, and if my assumptions are wrong, well, I don't have an ego. I'll be glad to say it on the show. I'll be at the party with you, happy for you, and cheering you on from the sides because that means I've sold. And I'll be very happy about that because I sold all of my XRP when it was going up. That would be a crazy life change for me. If some of you want $50 XRP, that's fine. There's a chance we could get there. But here's what chart analyst eGrain Crypto had to say about this. In a different post, he said that Ethereum could go up to $22,000. This is a thoughtful way of looking at it. He then said, let's do some math. The difference in market value between Ethereum and XRP right now is 31%. Let's break this down, figure out the market cap. We can figure out the possible rise. If XRP makes up 31% of Ethereum's market cap and the price of Ethereum is $4,400 right now. And yes, people, that is true. This was written with about 31% of Ethereum's market cap in XRP. He then says from $4,400 to $22,000. So that's the price. Just so everyone knows, some people might not remember what the price of Ethereum is. As I write this, I'll add that one Ether costs $4,472 at this time. If ETH goes from about $4,400, which is how much it was when he wrote this, to $22,000, which he thinks is at least possible, that's what he means. In other words, that's a huge rise of about 5 times. So he says, if we increase Ethereum's market value by 500%, we get $4,400, which is $22,000. That means Ethereum is now worth $2.63 trillion. That's more than a small rise. Right now, ETH is worth $562 billion on the market. It took $2.63 trillion to get from $562 billion to as much as E-grade crypto sites here. That's a big jump. Now let me say that a lot of respected analysts believe that's possible. Some people think it's likely. While I'm not sure if that's what most people think, I have seen some well-known analysts say that Ethereum could get that high. Analysts from all over the world, not just E-grade crypto, have at least said it's possible. That's not what I think most experts will do. Then he asks, what about XRP's cap? Let's find the 31% of Ethereum's market cap. So to go over it again, XRP has about 31% of Ethereum's market cap right now. The value of Ethereum's market will reach $2.63 trillion if XRP keeps 31% of Ethereum's market value. In this case, XRP's market value would be $816 billion. The market cap is $169 billion right now. You're talking about going from $169 billion to $816 billion, which is a huge amount of money. That sounds like something that would change a lot of people's lives right now. Finally, he says, set the price of XRP. The deal is to do the math, and he finds that it is $13.70. That's something to think about. That would be really big. I might think about that. Would it be highly successful if XRP hits $13.70 this market cycle? Yes, because XRP's low point was 28 cents in June 2022. That means it started at 28 cents and went all the way up to $13.70. Yeah, that is definitely huge, especially for a big cap coin. That will really blow your mind if we get that. I know some of you want bigger, and maybe you'll get it. I don't know for sure, but I'm just trying to put things in perspective here. You can want the price to go up even if it's not what you want. That's fine with me. That's still pretty cool though. At least say that out loud. It is what it is. That's what he says. If these estimates are correct, the price of XRP could reach around $13.70. We should keep an eye on the market. We're not thinking about the fact that XRP market cap did go over Ethereum market cap. This is a scenario in which the 31% share rate between Ethereum and XRP is real. Now comes the fun part. If he's right again. So XRP has been number 2 in market cap a few times, but only for a short time. It has since passed Ethereum, including during the 2017 bull run. Even if it's only for a short time, XRP is equal to Ethereum's high point at that time. You know what that means, right? Oh my God is the word for that. To be clear, if either hits $22,000 per coin, and XRP meets that in terms of market cap, that would mean that each XRP would be worth about $46. If either actually hits that price, I find it hard to believe that XRP would only be worth $13.70. That extra few would go a lot higher. And I don't think any great coder is saying that. It was just a little bit of practice for him. As he says at the end, he knows that XRP has beaten Ethereum in terms of market cap before. What about that though? If Ethereum hits that, you'll still be looking at $23 XRP, even if